Welcome to the Travel Agent Podcast. I'm your host, Aylin Blanco. I interview successful industry professionals and share my personal journey to becoming a travel agent. The show is for aspiring travel agents and travel professionals at every level. My mission is to uncover the universal keys to thrive in this business. Join me as I take a closer look into the life of a travel agent. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Travel Agent Podcast. Today we're going to change it up a bit and we are going to talk to a systems expert about how we can make our businesses better by using systems and stuff, I guess. I'm not an expert, so we're going to let her introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for welcoming me to the show today. My name is Wendy Nicole Anderson. I am a business systems strategist, and I teach service-based entrepreneurs and professionals how to streamline and automate their business systems so that they can escape burnout, work with the right clients, not just anyone who have money, and then increase their profits and save time.
Awesome. So how did you get started in this arena?
Well, I originally started out as a life coach. I love personal development. And when I went to go get my certification and I graduated from that particular program, I realized I did not know how to launch or start my online business. And so I found another coach that was promoting an event via Twitter. She was coming to Atlanta. I was mesmerized by how she was able to pack the room. There was 300 people who showed up to her event and paid her $100 a pop. And I ended up joining her mastermind. But even with that, I worked with her and several other coaches. I was still kind of lost as to how I was really going to monetize or make money doing what I wanted to do. And then over time, as I was trying to find the resources to help me build my own business, I realized no one was really offering what I needed. And then I didn't even know how to ask for what I needed. So I just kind of started building things out for myself that I wish that I would have had when I made those types of investments. And then when people started coming to me for my coaching, they would just say, I love the seamless experience that I had just inquiring to work with you and are working with you. Wendy, who built your systems? And I was like, I did. And so it was sort of kind of something that I fell into. And I realized that I loved it. And then I just kind of became the systems person. I'm not warm and fuzzy. So life coaching, it wasn't really the best fit, even though that's all I knew. But I kind of have infused some of my corporate background, a lot of things that I didn't like when I worked in the corporate and how they operated their day-to-day operations. And then I kind of looked at, what are some of the things that solopreneurs are missing out on that could, lend them a little bit more respect from their audience. And so here I am today.
Awesome. So systems is like a huge thing that in the industry is being talked about right now. And there's all of these programs and all of these different gurus saying this and saying that. And it really is kind of overwhelming. So what are some of the things to look at in your business that could be put into a system, or what are the things that you're seeing that are the biggest areas of opportunity?
Let's talk about what a system is first, because no one is really explaining or defining what a system is. I looked it up myself and I didn't really find a definition for a system to be in alignment with what I thought it was. So I created my own definition. And I feel like, and sometimes when people think about systems, we're not always talking about tools. For me, it's a collective body of rules your business follows to proactively respond to daily and high level scenarios your business might encounter so that growth is not disrupted. A system is an interactive, responsive plan to protect your business from inconsistent practices. And a lot of people ask me, well, Wendy, why do I need systems in my business? What is that? For me, systems offer you an honest report of what's working and what is not. It creates an opportunity for you to focus on efficiency, accuracy, and predictable, measurable results. It allows you to pivot and shift in real time, and it saves you from going down the rabbit hole or what ifs. So, like some things for systems would be standard operating procedures. So, you need a system in place to help you close more sales. So, for an example, if I am conducting a sales call, I have a formula, aka system that I follow. If someone has inquired about my services, I have a system in place to follow up. If someone pays me for my services, I have a system in place to onboard my new clients that sets the expectations for the professional relationship. When clients are proactively working with me, I have a system in place for client retention. I have what you call a client success pack. If someone wants to work with me or they are engaging with me in a particular way, I have a client success path in place to retain them as a client. I have a system for how I conduct my meetings so that when someone starts the meeting with me, they know what to expect. We're in and out in the allotted time that we have set the meeting for. It doesn't go on and on. They walk away with tangible action steps to follow so that they can get the results that they want. I have a system in place for client fulfillment. So, like when you're working with a client, you need to have a process that you're following for fulfillment. I have a system to generate client testimonials that showcase a story of what the client was dealing with before coming to me, what I helped the client with while they were working with me, what was the actual transformation. I also help my clients through a specific particular thing called a framework where I help them process through every action steps that they need to take in order to get themselves results and then their clients results. I have a system for batching my content marketing for email marketing and social media, all of that. So those are some ideas or things that are systematized, meaning like I have an actual step-by-step process that I follow in chronological order to do everything, so I'm not wondering about what to do, when, how, and why.
Wow. That is definitely something that I believe is extremely beneficial to a travel professional's business. You have worked with travel professionals. What have you been able to accomplish in that form of all the systems that you just named?
With travel agents, you guys need a couple of things. So the first thing is, and we're switching it up a bit. One of my clients uses Cognito Forms, and that allows us to track her registrations for, let's say she's doing a cruise to the Bahamas and there's 30 slots. And so there may be different room selections for that. So I go in there and I code it and I let it know that we can only sell 7 slots of this type of room, 10 slots of this type of room. Once those slots are taken, no one else can register on that particular form. Once that form has been processed, it's connected to Zoho Invoice. I have that. So they register on this Cognito form. I ask a plethora of things. Let me kind of go through with you some of the things that I do ask on there so you'll kind of know. I'm gonna pull it up real quick and I'll circle back. But they have a registration form. And inside that registration form, once they enter the information, I set up a Zap and Zapier to take the name and information from the registration page. And then I insert it into Zoho Invoice. I create a contact inside of Zoho Invoice, and then I set up an automation to automatically send out the invoice. That way, once someone registers, they'll pay their deposit and then they'll get an invoice for the remaining balance. Therefore, that person can log into the system and make payments as needed until it's been paid in full. Some of the things that I think that's important to ask on this form, of course, is the name, middle and last, the same name that's going to be on your ID or your passport, date of birth, gender, email, phone number, address. I also asked what's the primary emergency contact name, the primary emergency contact phone number, the relationship of the emergency contact one secondary emergency contact name, phone number, and relationship. I ask if there's a valid passport. I ask have they booked a flight. If you booked your flight already, please list that information. I ask for the airline departing and arriving airport codes, flight number, and travel dates. I ask them for their actual passport number. If they don't have a number, they can just put NA until a later date. I ask them their passport date of issue, their passport date of expiration, and then I put a summation of what accommodations that are readily available to them. They get to choose their accommodation. So, like, let's say it's a luxury junior suite. Single is $1,489.25, and then it'll say their deposit is 125. The registration form is for the deposit only, and then they're billed the balance.
That's oh my goodness, that would save so much time.
So here's my premise to all of this. What do you need to know in order to best service the clients? One of the things that I get into it a lot with clients about is, well, Wendy, I don't want to bother my clients. That's just too much information. I said, well, as a consumer, it irritates my living soul when I'm trying to do business with someone and you keep going back and forth with me about something. I'd rather you just ask me for everything that you need from the top. I'll get it to you in whatever format that you're asking me for, and I'd rather it be done. I'm not sure about how a travel agent is going to be able to properly plan if they're missing all of this pertinent information. The travel agent also needs to have this information because they have to hand it over to the vendor, because the volume of sales or the people who are going on particular trips may be dependent upon how they need to manage that trip. They also need to decide if they're going to need to hire an assistant or somebody to help them, with that. Once these people register, they get the invoice. Then inside of the same Zap, I also onboard them into a welcome email sequence where they get an email where they're reintroduced to the travel agent that they're doing business with. We address any and everything of how she conducts business. If there are certain instances or certain things, we give them specific directives. We also start educating and communicating with them about travel insurance. We start to give them a running list of things to do before their trip. We start educating them on the specific destination, the culture, what to expect, what kind of monies, what language is most used there. We make sure that this information goes out so that before that person departs for the trip, they fully understand how to conduct themselves on, whether it's cruise or whatever. They know what to expect to prepare. We let them know, if you're engaging in certain type of activities, this is what type of tips are expected. This is how dining works. This is how all inclusive works. If you want to do excursions, this is what you need to do to properly plan for those excursions as far as investment wise or time wise, or what's the protocol for that. Anything that a person would need to know to have a seamless experience on this vacation, we drip it out in emails.
So you have given so much information that extremely helpful and would definitely streamline a travel business. One thing that I definitely want to say right now is all of her information will be on the blog post at thetravelagentpodcast.com, because I truly feel like a lot of times we get overwhelmed with the back end, and really building relationships and having conversations and getting referrals is a part of the business. And if we had a seamless experience, such as what Wendy has been talking about, I feel like it would be an easier way to grow the business. So what have you seen from creating these systems? Like what has been the result?
I want to address something before I say that too. One of the reasons why I have my clients set up these systems, and it's different, every automation and system is different per client. And I can have three clients that are in the same business. It could be three different travel agents. I'm going to automate their businesses differently because each one of you guys have a different preference. Each one of you guys have a different skill set. Each one of you guys have a different way that you want to do business. And I don't want to build it the way I think it should be built. I want to build it the way that it's going to complement you, because you don't want to got to deal with it every day. But one of the main reasons why I do this is when people come to us and they make the investment to work with us, they're expecting us to be a leader. And it's really catastrophic if you're in business and you're all over the place and people are paying you money and it appears as if you don't have it together. And so one of the reasons why I do this is it helps the business owner have some a sense of prestige, and it makes the person know I can trust you instantly. If someone buys from you, you guys have followed me online for years. Y'all love me, y'all like my content, y'all give me high fives all the time. But if you paid me and there was a significant delay in getting anything that you paid me for, it didn't even matter if it was $12, you will have some type of buyer's remorse. And anytime we hire someone and they fumble or they don't deliver they don't deliver the service with a sense of confidence, it makes us question, do they have the ability to give me the level of support that I need to either heal or get to the next level of my success or whatever. That could be going to the doctor's office or anything. So that's why I do it. It creates a sense of security for the buyer. The results that I have is a lot of times when clients come to me, my clients are super intelligent, but they get overwhelmed with what to focus on and what to do because there are so many moving parts. And once I'm able to sit down with them and pull the information out of them and help them focus on the things that's going to help them move the needle the fastest to give them the clarity that they're looking for so that they don't feel unprepared, they're like, oh man, it's like a ton of bricks comes off of them, and they no longer have to worry about the daily administrative work. They get to finally start working in their zone of genius because we all started a business to do something that we love. There's a lot of things about business that we hate, but we have to do. So I'm able to get that stuff done with the clients, or I do it for them so that they don't have to worry about it. I teach them why it's there. So if there's a hiccup, they can go fix it, or they know how to come say, hey, when there's an issue with such and such, can you come back and help me with it? And they know what to look for, they know what to ask for, but they get to do what they want to do with their time. And then they get to attract and work with the best of the best clients because they have systems in place that help qualify their leads. So they're not just working with anyone. That lead knows exactly what they're getting themselves into before they make that investment.
I love it so much. I personally have experienced your systems, and it was a great experience because I knew what was going on. I knew what was happening the whole time, and there was never a question of what my role was and what your role was in the business relationship. So thank you so much for coming on the show because I just think it's something that we absolutely need to talk about. And I think, like you said, that there's confusion of what that means and what that looks like. And obviously, every business is different.
So tell us, how does someone get started working with you?
I want to make sure that people know. I want to give people space and time to determine if I am the right fit, that what I have to offer is going to help them reach their goals. So I give people a 30-minute complimentary session. It's an opportunity for us to really sit down, talk about your situation, talk about your goals, us assess together what your next steps need to be so you can reach your revenue goal. It gives that person an opportunity to ask me questions so that they can determine if they want to work with me. It works both ways. And then if we come to the conclusion that we are a good fit to team up, then we talk about how I may be able to support them based on their needs and their goals and their sense of urgency in cranking out their project. And you can book a complimentary call at wendynicoleanderson.com. You can also look around and kind of see what other things I have going on and check out my client testimonials. And then, of course, I spend a lot of time on Facebook. I have a Facebook group called Rebel Queen. You can get access to that right there on the top, right there in the middle of my website on the front page. All I ask is that you answer the following questions to get into the group, because I want to make sure that we are sending you content that's going to help you get the results that you need now versus later.
And all of that information will be in the blog post as well. So, again, thank you so much. You have been incredibly helpful to me. And I hope that, I know for a fact that people are going to find this episode very helpful. And I'm sure we'll be working together soon, and hopefully some other travel professionals will find you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for thinking of me and having me on. And you guys do what you need to do to get your business to that next level.
Thank you for joining the Travel Agent Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Visit thetravelagentpodcast.com for more information about today's episode and other travel agent resources. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for new episodes. Until next time, continue to build a travel business you love.